A poor girl's life changed with a small act of kindness. Neela had been fighting poverty since childhood. Her father was a day laborer, and her mother was a homemaker. Their financial situation was so bad that even arranging daily meals was a challenge. Yet, Neela dreamed of a better future. She wanted to study, build a career, and one day lift her family out of poverty. But life doesn't always go as planned. Neela was a brilliant student, but she couldn't afford new books for school. She continued studying with old, worn-out books. One day, on her way home from school, she saw an old man sitting by the roadside. His clothes were torn, and his face reflected exhaustion. His eyes carried a silent plea for help. Neela stopped in her tracks. The old man looked at her with trembling hands and asked, "Dear child, could you spare some food?" Neela had only 5 rupees in her pocket. She had planned to buy biscuits with it, because she hadn't eaten anything since morning. But the sight of the old man's helpless face made her hesitate. She couldn't walk away. She handed over the money and said, "Here, uncle. Please buy something to eat." The old man smiled, his eyes filling with tears. "Child, you are a kind soul. One day, your kindness will change your life." Neela didn't think much of it and walked away. She had no idea that this small act of kindness would transform her fate. The next morning, when Neela reached school, the principal called her to the office. She was shocked. Had she done something wrong? The principal said, "Neela, do you know someone came here to talk about you?" Neela was confused. "About me? Who was it?" The principal smiled. "An elderly man visited us this morning. He said you helped him yesterday. He wants to take responsibility for your education." Neela's eyes widened. "My education?" The principal nodded. "Yes. He is a wealthy man who disguises himself as a poor person to test people's kindness. Since you helped him selflessly, he wants to support your studies." Tears welled up in Neela's eyes. She couldn't believe that a simple act of kindness could change her life. Neela felt like she was dreaming. When her parents heard the news, they couldn't believe it. Their daughter, who used to go to school hungry, was now getting a sponsor for her education. The next day, when Neela arrived at school, she had a brand new school bag. The principal personally handed her new books, notebooks, and pencils. Holding them in her hands, Neela's eyes filled with tears. She had always studied with old, torn books, but today she had new ones. But the story didn't end there. The old man returned to the school once again. This time, he spoke with the school's management. He revealed that Neela wasn't just kind. She was also a bright student. He wanted to ensure that she could study at the country's best college. Neela was stunned. She had always been a good student, but she never imagined getting such an opportunity. A few days later, one morning, a car stopped in front of their small house. A man stepped out, holding a letter. "Miss Neela, this is for you." With trembling hands, Neela opened the letter. It read, "Congratulations. You have been selected for our scholarship program. You will have the opportunity to study at the country's top college. All your expenses, including accommodation and meals, will be covered. Best wishes." Neela's eyes welled up with tears. The girl who once worried about affording 2 meals a day was now getting the chance to study at a prestigious institution. Neela enrolled in college. She made new friends and adapted to a new environment. She focused entirely on her studies. In her first semester, she ranked at the top of her class. Her success story spread among the professors and students. One day, at a college event, she was invited as the chief guest. When she arrived at the venue, she saw the same old man sitting in the audience. With teary eyes, Neela walked onto the stage and said, "Today, whatever I am, it's because of this man. If he hadn't helped me, I would still be on the streets, dreaming of an education that would never come true." The old man stood up. His eyes, too, were filled with tears. He said, "Neela, I recognized your potential from the very first day. Your small act of kindness proved that you would achieve great things." At that moment, the entire audience rose to their feet and applauded. Neela had achieved success, but she never forgot that her journey had changed because of one small act of kindness.